Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Movie Mortis, where Movie Madness lives. I'm Nick,
And I'm Drew.
and welcome to our show, Why Horror Matters, where we talk about horror movies. For today's episode is Sinners, the 2025 horror movie starring Michael B. Jordan, directed by Ryan Coogler, if I said that right.
Kugler.
Coogler.
Kugler.
Coogler. Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler, that is such a cool name. Um, it is about these two twins who are being raided by vampires in their newly opened juke joint.
Yeah.
And I, for one, liked
And
this
there's
movie. Sorry, what?
I also like this movie.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure, given how successful this movie was in both at the box office and as far as awards, which we'll get to at some point in the episode, it seems like we are not alone in
Yeah.
liking this movie.
It's been critically acclaimed all around. Everyone I talked to liked it.
Yeah, so at the time of recording this, we are recording this on January 28th, 2026, and this movie was just been nominated for a shit ton of Academy Awards. Do you want to just get it out of the way? Because we're going to have to talk about it at some point.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay. So as of right now, it is nominated for a bunch of Academy Awards, including Best Casting, Best Achievement in Cinematography, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Achievement in Music Written for a Motion Picture, Best Achievement in Music Written for Motion Pictures, original for original songs, Best Sound, Best Achievement in Visual Effects, Best Picture, Best Directing, Best Actor in a Leading Role for Michael B. Jordan, Best
Mm.
Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role for Delroy Lindo, Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role, Winmi Masaku. I hope I didn't butcher that.
It's okay.
Uh, Best Original Best Original Screenplay, Best Achievement in Production Design, Best Achievement in Costume Design, and Best Achievement in Film Editing. Did you get all that?
Yeah, will that be on the test?
And that's not even getting into the BAFTA awards and a whole bunch of other awards, which we're not going to get to
Oh, I
because that
didn't
would
look at
take
the BAFTA
forever.
awards. I only saw the Oscars, which I just want to say right off the bat, since you mentioned best soundtrack, this soundtrack was fucking amazing. I loved it.
Oh, yeah, it's a mix of like, so obviously you got some blues in there, given the fact that this takes place in Mississippi in 1932,
Oh yeah,
and it's about some and people who play the blues, obviously. Even Buddy Guy makes an appearance in this movie.
yeah.
Um,
A little bit of folk music, a little bit of
yeah,
bluegrass,
yeah.
and just
There's even a tidbit of rock music near the end.
mm-hmm.
Um, it's got a little bit of gospel, I think, in there.
Yeah.
So it's pretty diverse
Oh yeah, and it
in
really
terms
taps
of
into that
music.
like southern western blues music, which I really love about it. In fact, I feel like the blues is like a really central motif of this movie, which I think is really awesome.
Well, yeah, it kind of gives it its own unique character in a way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have a question. So I remember reading this online, but they say the main menu for like on the DVD is not that very interesting. It's just a picture with like occasional music and buttons to select. Is that true?
I mean, you can say that for most Blu-rays and DVDs. So,
Oh, okay. Because somebody said if this movie came out in DVD back in like the mid 2000s, the main menu would have been a lot more ecstatic, where basically the main menu would just be like the walls of the juke joint playing the blues music, especially the part where that Sammy plays, which we got to talk about later. But if you hit play movie,
hmm
the camera pans up to like the place burning, exposing a hole and everything. And then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, honestly, it's like this can be a whole separate issue as far as like the we can do a whole episode about the progress or lack of progress of physical media and blah blah blah.
yeah,
But it's like for me, it's like just as long as the interface is easy to navigate, I don't really care.
that's fair. Yeah, that could be a separate episode later. But anyways, going back to Sinners, I gotta ask, what was your favorite song in Sinners? We're still on the soundtrack. So what was your favorite song?
I can't remember any of them by name because I
That's
didn't look
fine.
at it. But probably that bit of rock music at the end, or probably that one of the blues songs that Sammy plays early on in the movie. Again, I forget which one. I think it was the one that was when him and um which fucking twin was it was in the car with him?
It was. I think it was both Smoke and Stack.
No, I think it was just Stack who was with him.
Uh,
But this is at the beginning, towards the beginning. He pulls out his guitar and while he's in the passenger seat, he starts playing a song and then Stack was looking at him and he's like, "Holy hell, this is good!" Blah blah blah. Let's
mm-hmm.
go. So probably that song. Like I said, I can't remember any of them by name right now.
That's
So
fine. For me, it's probably the villain song, "Pick Poor Cotton Clean." No, Pick Poor Robin Clean," and the Pale Moon song, the one that gets interrupted after freaking Mary eats Smoke, or was it Stack? Was it Stack or Smoke who became a vampire? Which one was it again?
I believe it was Stack.
Okay, I don't know why I get those two mixed up. I mean, they're both played by Michael B. Jordan doing dual roles, which, by the way, Michael B. Jordan did fucking phenomenal.
Dude, like Michael B. I've always liked Michael B. Jordan, but it's like, man, this might be his most impressive performance because, like you said, he's playing two characters.
Yeah.
Like, that's never easy for an actor to play two characters.
Oh, absolutely.
I was somewhat interested how, especially with the scenes where Smoke and Stack are talking to each other. I wonder, like, I'm sure they like had a stunt person in one, and like, so it's like if the camera was facing one, the other person would probably be played by a stunt person, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, man, that must have taken a lot, yeah, like that because that really can complicate what are on paper kind of simple scenes when it comes to shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like if you have a rack actor playing two characters and those two characters are supposed to be interacting with each other, you can only really show one at a time unless you do some like masking or something in post production.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that's what they had to do.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which that kind of editing can really take a long time to do
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot that goes into it.
Oh, absolutely. Uh
So from that perspective, I can absolutely see why this movie is nominated for best editing. I also
huh.
do want to say there are some really impressive one takes in this
Oh
movie.
yeah.
The one the one you brought up earlier where it's spinning where it's not spinning around but it's kind of showing
The whole juke
um
joint is when
the
Sammy's
whole juke
playing,
joint.
and like they
Yeah,
had
while
that they
Sammy's
repeat that
playing.
narration of like some say people with music so good they can summon the spirit of the ancestors of both past and future.
Exactly,
That
and
was
then
so
eventually
fucking
pans,
cool.
and then it pans up to the roof as it's burning and stuff. That was
Yeah.
so. I'm always impressed by one takes because those are always so hard to do because it's like if you
Same.
mess up in the middle of it, you have to reset up the whole thing, and so it's like it's always impressive when somebody can pull it off. And Ryan Coogler has proven himself to be a director who can do all sorts of different
Heck,
things. And I
heck yeah, indeed.
oh by the way, I actually have a slight connection to Ryan Coogler actually.
Oh, I hear it.
Couple years ago, I was in a film analysis class at my local community college here in the Bay Area, and my instructor actually went to school with him, with Ryan Coogler.
No freaking way.
Yeah. I guess Ryan Coogler was like one of those students that would like sit at the front of the class, I guess, and the professors would they kind of notice something in him, like, hey, this guy. Yeah, this was like 5 or 6 years ago, but it was really cool to have an instructor that actually knew Ryan Coogler, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Fun side note.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's that
I
is
will
super
say
cool.
though, when it comes to like Ryan Coogler's movies, the only other one I know that I've seen is Black Panther. So it's like I'm not like super familiar. Like I know he's done Creed and I know he's done some of these other things. I'm just not super like
Not too crazy about him.
versed. Yeah, it's more that I'm not too versed in his filmography,
I'm not too
but
versed in it either. I'm gonna be honest. This is the only Ryan Coogler movie I've ever seen. I mean, yes,
besides
as shock
Black
to all the
Panther.
viewers, I never saw Black Panther, and no, I'm not
What?
racist.
What? You never saw Black Panther? Panther?
No, it just
Oh,
didn't interest
okay.
me. I was in my I'm getting sick of Marvel movies phase when it came out. So
That's fair. That's fair. I will
it's
say I did like Black Panther.
yeah, people say it's good. Maybe if I'm in the right mood, I'll give it a try. Or if Disney Plus will stop being a fucking terrible streaming service where because like I just lost access to it. My parents are still paying for it, but now we got to pay extra just to get access on a different TV. So it's like, well, fuck you, Disney. Well, hopefully, I'm pretty sure my library has it. My libraries. Thank God for libraries.
Yeah. So anyways, back to Sinners. Um, so outside of like I'm trying to remember some there was another one take earlier on in the movie when I forget that one Asian lady's name, but when she's
Lucy.
going from Lucy, yes.
I don't know if it was
When
Lucy or not.
I don't remember.
Curious.
When she's going from one store to the next. You know what I'm talking about early on in the movie?
Yeah.
When like one of them goes to the store across the street, gets her mom, and then she goes across the street to the other, back to the other store we just came from. That's all one take. It's all one
Ooh.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was Lisa, not Lucy. Lisa.
Lisa. Okay.
You were tearing me apart, Lisa. Anyways, um,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry we're screwing up. We can't remember everyone's names, audience.
it's fine. It's okay, audience. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
I will
yeah.
say though, something I do kind of want to talk about, something that kind of impresses that really impresses me about this movie
Mhm.
is that in many ways it plays into the more traditional vampire mythology with like, the stake through the heart, the garlic, all that
Yeah.
stuff comes into
Uh huh.
play. But at the same time, it's such a unique setting for a vampire film. Mississippi, 1932, blues, fucking. And why
Mm-hmm.
am I forgetting the word? Why am
Blues,
I forgetting the word?
Southern, bluegrass,
Southern. No,
folk,
the juke joint. Sorry,
juke joint. Yeah, juke
I
joint.
don't. Why am I forgetting that fucking word? But it's like it's such a unique setting for a vampire movie because like when you think of like vampires, you think of like Eastern Europe. You think of like medieval castles
Yeah.
and more gothic areas, stuff like that. Um, but it's like you see Sinners, and it's like it's in the deep South in the
Mm-hmm.
1930s. It's
Yeah.
plus with all the blues music and everything. It gives it so much character. It's both unique and familiar at the same time. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I want to add on to that and say like, it's I think it's cool how they kind of incorporate like American like spiritual, well, both Native American spirituality. Like it's never expanded on. It's implied like when the Irish vampire was being hunted by the Native American. I'm pretty.
Mhm.
I think the Chichow is what they're called. Like it implies they know about the vampires and are trying to hunt them down, and even try to tell that
Mhm.
one clan family, hey, if you, God forbid, this guy ever goes on your property, like they know about the
Mhm.
vampires. And also I think it was yeah, Stack was, no, the one that doesn't get turned to a vampire. Which one was it, Smoke or Stack?
I think it was Smoke.
So yes, so Smoke, yeah, I actually, hang on, I don't know, I'm getting the two mixed up, and I saw this movie twice. Dang it. Dang it. Okay, which
I,
one was it?
I, I'm getting them mixed up, and I literally saw this movie like 3 hours ago.
I love having short term memory. Who is this guy I'm talking to again? Hey, wait, what am I holding in my phone? How did I get the shirt on? No. Anyways, it's like the one. It's so. What was I? No, really. What was I saying again? Crap. Oh
Uh,
no. Oh yeah.
oh,
Hang on. What were what? No, really. What were we talking about before we started forgetting everything?
you
Seriously.
were talking about those Native Americans who showed up at that clan member's house as they
Yeah.
were.
Yeah. It was it was Smoke. Yeah. So So yeah, basically, Smoke's wife, I believe. Yeah, Smoke's wife. Uh, no, it was yeah, it was Smoke. Smoke's wife basically believes in this kind of this other kind of spirituality. I can't remember what it was called, and she made like a little like spirit bag as protection, believing that her rituals are protection. She mentions that she knows about vampires and mentions like haters, Haiters. So it's like
Uh-huh.
it kind of does its own spin of how it connects to like other spiritual traditions too of mythology. So I thought
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
really neat.
that's
I thought that was a really cool spin. And I don't know if it relates to going further into the vampires. I like how they're trying to. I like how they're actually trying to manipulate his prey instead of just go full on attacking. Like the Irish vampire is basically saying, "Hey, you're in a hateful place. We can make this world better. You just have to become one of us. There'll be no more racism or whatever." Like he's trying to talk him into it, which I think is really cool. And
yeah, yeah.
what I think is also kind of cool is that they kind of have this collective consciousness assimilated hive mind. So where Stack, the guy who gets turned to a vampire, Stack basically says, "Oh yeah, I seen his memories. Everything is true." It's like, and I'm gonna follow me on this. So I may sound like I'm going to talk about this, but I've been recently watching a show called Pluribus, and it's basically all of humanity gets infected with like a virus, but it acts like a collective hive mind where everyone sees the same thing, they hear the same thing, and that's what this reminded me of. Was like the virus from Pluribus. I don't know if vampires ever have like a collective consciousness hive mind where they share memories or whatnot. Is that true in traditional vampirism?
I don't. Sometimes, I know, like in like I know Dracula, for example, has like the wives of Dracula who like you like do his bidding and stuff.
Hmm.
So I know in many it is somewhat traditional in vampire lore to like the head vampire, the people that they bite and turn into a vampire do their bidding. Like even in the 1931 Dracula, Renfield does Dracula's bidding. So in a way, they kind of have a bit of a shared consciousness in a way. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's any. Usually, I don't think it's anything like what we see in Sinners, where it's like they all basically have the same sort of mentality
Hmm.
and the
Yeah.
same sort of shared consciousness.
That makes sense. I mean, they still know who they are as individuals and what they went through, but they all have the same goal and agreement, and that is like to turn people into vampires and create a new world.
Hmm.
So I think it's kind of interesting how the vampires are. They're trying to be like, hey, we know what you dealt with. Come join us. But then, like when they
Hmm.
refuse, they decide to go kind of all savage and everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
that's when they turn more into like the traditional vampire where they're starting biting people and all that stuff.
yeah. And what's more interesting too to segue off this, if you want to say something, feel free to, because I feel like I'm rambling a lot. Um, what's interesting too is that the vampire I mentioned, he's Irish, the Irish vampire. So his this is ties into a bit of American history, but both I'm not trying to say one's like more oppressed than the other, but I feel like but even Irish Americans, Irish immigrants had a hard time in America as well, and I feel like the Irish vampire is trying to use that commonality between the African American people and Irish American people to like try and scoop them up into the other side, because he mentions to Sammy that his land got taken away from them, and just like the religion was enforced upon them, forced on African Americans, so was it on the Irish immigrants who came to America. Because he mentions like, if you remember near the end of the movie where he's like beating the hell out of, he's about to turn Sammy, but Sammy tries to recite the Lord's Prayer, but then the Irish vampire joins, like, that was the one thing they did on me when my family took my land, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, which I have there's actually kind of a lot of interesting things about that final scene as well too, which I don't know if we want to talk
Oh
about,
yeah.
or is there something you want to bring up about this movie as well?
Well, if you want to talk about that final scene, let's do it.
Alrighty then. So the final scene where Sammy's trying to get away. This is my brother ended up joining me. So I watched this movie twice actually. Twice for the podcast and once with my brother. Um, so one thing he told me, well, he pointed this out, was that well, we both noticed it. Like, you also notice that, like, Sam was also being aggressively shoved into the water, like, head first, like they do with some baptisms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I noticed that.
Yeah. What's even more interesting is that when he gets knocked out, you notice the guitar is on land. Now, some people may call this a continuity error, but my brother kind of interpreted this as divine intervention because Sammy's character, he's a church boy, and his
Hmm.
church says, "Hey, abandon blues music. It's the devil." Which there is some interesting context to that one as well. Which this movie has so many fucking layers. Holy shit!
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But but basically, Sammy, basically, it's so even though his blues music is deemed a sin, it's also his gift. But he smashes the guitar onto the Irish vampire to like drive him away. It even causes like pain on the other vampires as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
my brother says that could be divine intervention. That yeah, the church may say the music is dead, but it's what saved him as well. It both doomed and saved him. So it's kind of like a duality of things, a yin and yang situation, and yes. So that's something we've kind of noticed. I don't know if you agree with that interpretation or that's just kind of a that
I
we're
know.
just looking.
I feel like, to be honest, I feel like I should probably see it again before I really start talking about interpretations and all this sort of stuff.
Hmm.
I will say though, I like that you brought up the whole blues being the devil's music sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because something that I kept thinking about, especially early on in this movie, was I'm sure you're familiar. A lot of people, if you're familiar with blues music, I'm sure you're probably familiar with Robert Johnson, right?
Oh, is that the guy where they say he's so good he probably sold his soul to the devil to play guitar?
That's the one.
Yeah, yeah. That's I was also thinking about that too.
Yeah, yeah. Because that's one of those things that's sort of fascinating, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's like I just feel like that's an interesting connection, because you can almost Sammy can almost be a bit of almost a bit of a stand-in for Robert Johnson in a way, if you really think about it,
Yeah, could
because
be.
he plays blues music and he's like supposed to be like, one of the best blues players around
Mm-hmm.
and so I just think that's
Apparently,
kind of
yeah.
interesting. Though the I mean,
Um.
something that sort of contradicts what I just said is that, obviously by the end of the movie, Sammy goes on to have a good career in blues music and he's playing with Buddy Guy at the end of the movie
Yeah.
and in the 1990s, whereas Robert Johnson, I believe he died in the 1930s, so he didn't have, that sort of long successful career.
True.
Um,
True. True.
but so yeah, I think that's an interesting connection that I couldn't not think about it while watching this movie, especially early on.
Oh no, I had the same idea honestly. About the fact the guy sold his soul to the devil. What's really interesting too is I feel like Sammy in a way was kind of the only one that got out alive. I mean, no, he was. Who am I kidding? Like, not only did he live on to live a long career, but Stack was turned into a vampire. Smoke died fighting the clan, and everyone else got
Hmm.
turned to a vampire or died. So it almost, in a way, you have to wonder whose story was it? Was it Smoke and Stack's or was it Sammy's story?
You could argue that it was any of them. But I
That's
would
true.
probably say, I mean, the opening scene is Sammy going into the church that after this whole stuff breaks down. So
Yeah,
you could probably say it's Sammy's story more than anyone else, just because there's a particular emphasis on him.
that's true. Yeah.
Even with the twins, even with the Stack and Smoke, the twins,
Mhm.
yes, they're kind of like. Obviously, if you look at the poster, it's Michael B. Jordan's face on the poster.
Oh yeah.
In many ways, the twins are just as much of a main character as Sammy is. So
100%. Yeah.
probably
And I
should
also,
probably should have worded that the other way around, but you get my point.
yeah, I get what you mean. What's also interesting too is that I feel like Sammy is just like you said. Sammy is just as a main character as Michael B. Jordan, and I honestly think that the title Sinners actually ties into both Smoke and Stack and Sammy because Smoke and Stack they were both criminals in the North
Yeah.
before they came back here, and they were also served in World War I,
Mhm.
which they probably did some war crimes. And then of course you have Sammy,
Yeah.
who's pretty much going against his church's wishes of playing the blues, and in a way, all three of them are sinners.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So it almost makes you wonder: is the vampire attack like pay for their sins or an ultimate test of God in a way. This is just kind of me looking
Yeah.
through like a Christianity lens here right now, but not that I'm trying to force religion on anybody. This is me trying to look at it through a different lens.
Well, yeah, I think the lens you're looking through it is interesting
Hmm.
because it
And
is interesting to look at that way as like a divine test from God with the vampires and stuff, you know.
hmm
So it is interesting
yeah.
to look at it
And
that way.
the weird thing is too, going back to the vampires, like the Irish vampire, he wants Sammy because he it's like Stack yes yeah, Stack's wife said, vampires they don't let you leave this earth for real. You're stuck, grounded to the world. You don't remember your family. You're not connected to your ancestors. You're just a monster forced to roam the earth.
Hmm.
So so it's like their souls are never really released. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's so in a way they're kind of maybe they're and again going back to the religious lens, like maybe once they get killed, they're either sent into the afterlife, i.e. heaven, or depending depending how you look at it, they either go to hell or go to heaven. Is when they truly die, because that's again they're trapped and condemned on earth. They're forced to live in some kind of monster.
Well, didn't Smoke's wife or Stack's wife, whoever's fucking wife it was, did she also say that your soul can be set free if you get a stake through the heart?
Oh yeah, yes. That okay, yes. That's the one. Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna
That's the
say,
one. And
I'm pretty sure I heard her say that.
yeah, that's it. That's it. Sorry. Thanks for the refresher. But yeah, that's it. That's the one. Yeah. It's
So,
yeah, cuz man, again, this movie has so many freaking layers, and I feel like we've
yeah,
barely
yeah.
even gotten to the rest of them too. Unless maybe we have and we forgot, but still this is what makes this movie great. There's a lot to explore and talk about and think about, you know?
I probably made a mistake only watching it once.
No, you're
Anyways,
fine, man. No, dude,
because
you're fine. I mean,
to be honest, I didn't really like some of these things that you're talking about. I didn't really catch on first viewing. So it's like you're talking about all these different layers and stuff, and I'm just sitting there like, what? I'm like, okay, like I get what you're talking about, but it's like I don't have anything to add to
you're
some of
good.
those extra layers.
You're good, man. You're good. And
I will say though, I did say this to one of my other friends today. I'm like, when I finished this movie, I was like, God damn it, I wish I would have saw this movie in theaters. Because
same,
I
dude. I wish I saw this movie in theaters as well.
because I am like probably the latest person to the Sinners Party. Because this movie came out last March, last April, whenever it
Yeah,
was.
last March.
And it's just like I remember everybody talking about it, and for like to me, it's like I didn't go see it because it's like it's the same reason why I haven't gone to see a lot of movies in theaters. It's just going to the movies is so goddamn expensive these days.
Oh yeah,
It's
100%. I mean,
and I'm just like, especially for fucking IMAX movies, which like one of my friends was like, I saw it in IMAX and it was awesome. I'm like, IMAX tickets are like $30 a pop now. It's bullshit.
I
Um,
know.
and it's like, God damn it! I wish I would have just made it happen and went to go see it in the theaters.
Mm,
And I'm just like,
yeah.
God damn it.
I do plan on seeing Project Hail Mary in theaters when that comes out.
And I do plan on seeing Sam Raimi's new film, Send Help, in theaters, which comes out in a couple days.
I thought it already came
Um,
out.
no, comes out January 30th, which is in two
Oh,
days.
okay. I saw a review on it by Jeremy Johns, so
He
he
probably
said
he
it's good.
probably got early screening, critic screening. So,
That makes sense, yeah. But
anyways, back to Sinners.
back to
Before we
Sinners.
get so off topic.
No, it's
I
fine. I
will,
mean, it's fine. That's fine. But anyways, Sinners.
so
So like I said,
here's something else I want to ask you. Besides Michael B. Jordan, what other actors stood out to you?
probably the girl who played Mary,
Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld, Stack's ex girlfriend. She just has she has that great Southern drawl to her. That's just
Oh yeah.
and, yeah, and I also she she has that Southern, sometimes she'll get aggressive and so She just reminds me of just a regular Southern woman, and I think she did well with that.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
Um,
Haley Steinfeld. I know. I think she was in. I want to say she was in some Marvel movie. I want to say something like that. That's. I don't remember.
yeah.
To be honest, I mostly know Haley Steinfeld for A, being in Singers, and B, being the now wife of Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen.
Mm. I thought you were gonna
So
say Buffalo Bill from Shining. It's not Shining. Silence of the Lambs.
no, the Buffalo Bills, the football team,
Ah, okay.
the football team who's about as successful in my lifetime as my Niners are, which is not a
Well,
lot.
hey, maybe one day we can do Buffalo 66 for the podcast, which they are an essential plot point in that movie. But anyway, Sinners. So yeah, I
Anyways,
like that.
before we move on, I would just like to say the Super Bowl is going to be here in a few weeks in the Bay Area. All I got to say is fuck the Seahawks. Okay, let's go on.
Oh, there goes our collab with Fact Man. Anyways, uh, anyways, uh,
To be
oh,
fair, the Act Man is not a movie channel, anyways. So he's not a
that's
movie
fair.
YouTuber, anyways. So
I also really like the cornbread. I don't know if I like the character of the actor, but I feel like the actor definitely adds some I definitely add something to cornbread, which I thought was kind of cool.
oh yeah, I liked Cornbread a lot. I wish I can remember who the actor is.
Mm.
Come
It's
on,
that,
IMDb.
yeah.
All right, I
And
gotta go to
I also
IMDb.
really liked Lisa Cho's actress, along
Um,
with Mr. Cho, the Asian shopkeepers.
oh, so Lisa Cho was a Helena Hill.
Hmm.
I'm trying to see here. Who was Cornbread? Who the hell was that? Omar
Cornbread.
Benson Miller. Omar Benson Miller.
And
Yeah,
yep,
I think he did a good job. Um,
yep. I think the whole cast did incredible, not just the people we're
oh God,
mentioning.
yeah.
Like
Oh God, yeah.
everyone did so great. Like
Hmm.
even the guy who was even the freaking I'm gonna guess the Irish vampire was cool, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if I don't know if you could tell he was Irish until he started like singing the song about Dublin, like around that circle where all the vampires are singing and dancing.
Oh, so that song was an Irish folklore song, or was it an Irish folk
Irish
song or
folk song,
something?
yeah.
Okay,
My brother
okay.
knows more about Irish folk music than I do, apparently. So
Yeah,
you'll have to
again,
ask him.
I'm not like a lot of the music that is in this movie. Like, I'm not super well versed in that, so it's like I can't really like speak to like its influence or to its meaning or anything like that. I
I
mean,
just took a history of rock and roll class, so I know like a little bit about blues and like the origins of
yeah, well,
blues
pretty
sounds
much
and everything.
I mean, pretty much what I know about blues is pretty much what I learned in a rock and roll history class I took back in
See,
like 2018 or so.
yeah.
Um,
That that being said, though, I do like to indulge myself in a little of old country and southern gothic, so that could explain why I kind of feel drawn to stuff like "Pick Poor Robin Clean"
I mean,
or
honestly, the closest thing I listen to that is blues is probably some of the older Volbeat stuff, but it's like other
ooh
than that,
yeah
I don't really listen to a lot of blues, to be honest. It's not really my thing.
same
Although the blues is, I know this isn't a music podcast, I know we're talking a lot about music because the music in this movie is so good.
yeah
Um, but I will say that something I did learn in that rock and roll history class was that blues music is basically the foundation for pretty much all of the popular music genres that exists today.
yeah
Everything from like rock to metal to
oh
rap and
definitely yeah
R&B. So,
yeah I mean yeah I think yeah definitely I mean it's funny too. You mentioned that because in the freaking montage where like not montage, the one shot where Sammy's go performing at the whole juke joint, you can see like his ancestors from like people who play in rock to like
yeah, yeah.
DJs to even Lisa Chow's future ancestors. Like holy heck,
Oh yeah, again, that's what makes that one of the things that makes that one take so impressive is that these people are just appearing in one spot, and then it's
yeah,
like as the camera is moving around and stuff. Like
mm-hmm.
that must have been a huge fucking pain in the ass to film. And
Oh
again,
yeah,
it's like this movie's you know what? I am going to see the who the fuck is the
Cinematographer.
Cinematographer. Yeah, I'm looking that up right now if I can find it.
Mm-hmm.
Here, more, or let's see here.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I have to criticize about
Oh,
it.
so the cinematography award for the Oscars is going to Autumn Durald Arkapaw. That's the guy's name.
Interesting.
Mr. Arkapaw, you did a fantastic job.
Hells yeah, hells to the yeah.
Yep.
Um, So real quick, what did you think about the last stand in the movie? The one where the like not the one where like Smoke is fighting the clan, but where the remaining survivors are trying to fight off the vampires. What did you think about that?
Oh, that was awesome. I really
I
liked that.
agree. The
That
only
was
thing I
so
didn't like,
cool. I
sorry,
will say though,
you
that scene does play into another vampire stereotype where here, I'm gonna give everybody a pro tip. Never invite vampires into your house.
well, to be fair, they didn't know Marianne was bitten. They didn't know Mary was bitten.
Fair, but when that one woman is she basically lets the vampires in. She says like come in as
Oh
Smoke and the other
yeah,
person
Lisa.
are pulling her back. So
Yeah,
again, don't let vampires into your house, people.
that's true. Um, so one thing I liked it. It was really cool and tense, and I liked how they were like fighting them off. And so one thing I didn't like about was Delta Slim's sacrifice. Like I get it was there and stuff, but like couldn't we maybe at least try and see him take out some enemies instead of just let the vampires crawl over him? Because I feel like, in my opinion, my favorite part about the Last Stand, especially ones that like fall, is like you want to believe that they can still get out of this. They can make it, you know? Like
Mhm.
one of my I feel like the best example of that is I can't remember this guy's name, but it's like the very end of the first Lord of the Rings movie where we see this one guy who Aragorn trusted try and fight off as much as they can from taking the hobbits. And you want to believe he can make it out. He can take a few more blows. It's still good. It's still good. And then he
Mhm.
dies. And whereas with Delta Slim, which Delta Slim was interesting, was a kind of a neat character by the way, just kind of an old guy just trying to get by and occasionally very grumpy. And also I found it funny how he almost threw up from the garlic when everyone thought he was a vampire. I was like, no, he just had too much to drink. But
Yeah,
Delta,
that was
I at least want to see Delta Slim maybe like try and swing his knife because he had a knife with him. Like he cut his open. Like you could at least try and take a few enemies out. That's other than that, the final fight was really cool. The final fight was really cool. It was awesome.
yeah, but I think at some point it's like, because what he was doing is that he was trying to pull a lot of the vampires away from Sammy so that way he could escape. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like you kind of have to, at some point somebody has to like be like, hey, I'm gonna stay behind while this other person escapes.
Mm-hmm.
So
That makes sense, yeah, but like that's just my 2 cents. Could have been like him at least trying to fight some vampires off so Sammy can escape. And what do you think about the
uh,
deal between smoke the vampirized stack and the human smoke where he says like just leave Sammy alone and I'll let you live. What do you think about that?
that was cool.
Hmm.
That was cool
It
because
was
like even I guess even in Stack's vampire form, it's like he still seems to have this reverence for his brother. So,
oh yeah.
even in his vampire form. And it's a cool sort of like I don't want to use the word resolution, but it's like it's a good sort of like climactic sort of way to end their character arc and their dynamic between each other.
That's fair. Yeah, that is fair. Like that is fair. Although I do want yeah, I do wonder what's to stop uh Smoke from actually going after Sammy again long after everyone else is dead. Besides the
That's
deal
a
he made
good
with his brother,
question.
because it makes you wonder: does Smoke still have some kind of humanity if he was able to make a deal with him?
Probably, but didn't he get lit aflame when the sun came up at the end?
No, no. Smoke lived. Smoke lived because after it's not the post credit scene, but it's like after the main credits, you see Sammy now old performing in a bar, and then
Yeah,
like
yeah, I saw that.
oh, going back to the religion thing. Here's the thing: Smoke and Stack, they're both sinners, whereas
Hmm.
Smoke has his redemption arc because he was able to take out the Klansmen, and
Yeah, yeah.
essentially he dies being reunited with his wife and now dead daughter, and then
Hmm.
whereas Stack, he's condemned to c- have his soul roam the earth forever, regardless of whatever happens in whatever lifetime he lives. He's forced to live that ugliness of life. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Consider maybe I'm just looking too deep into it, but considering his outfit, he probably indulged in more sin, thus making him a sinner.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
This
I
is
will
just
say though that that ending scene when Smoke takes out the those clans people as they come to kill him.
yeah,
Man, that was such a fun scene, I think.
100%.
Well,
Yeah,
one because it's always fun to see racists get their comeuppance, but also because it's a very well shot scene, no pun
yeah.
intended. Um,
I
but
still
it's a
think it's kind
very
of interesting how even though everyone at the juke joint is dead, Smoke still decides to take out the Klansman. Not that I'm saying he shouldn't, but it's like it was still a cool scene. Probably because he just didn't. Uh, yeah. Probably because I feel like that's just a way of him trying to atone for his sins.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
That's just what I think. That and of course, racism is bad. Plus, the Klan was still going to come back for them, as implied by both Smoke and Stack in the beginning of the film.
yep,
So it was still cool. It was both. It was also really cool. It's like not only did he use like his World War I weaponry and training, but he also had his Tommy gun with him, which from his crime days. So it's like, yes, this is what I've experienced through. This is how I've lived through the violence, and now I'm trying to do something good for it. And that last scene where he sees like a manifestation of his wife and daughter,
yeah,
it's like he can
yeah.
he can be reunited.
I will say though that it was. This is definitely nitpicky. It's not like a big deal. But
Mm-hmm.
I do find it a bit odd that his Thompson was just buried in the dirt conveniently.
Mm. Yeah, that is a
Unless
little
I,
strange.
unless I just missed something earlier in the film. But
A lot of people say that the ending's a little bit flawed, and I can understand why.
it does kind of, if you miss that part at the beginning with them making the deal with that Klans member, you can kind of the ending can seem a bit strange. Be like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
why is he still? Why did he stay there to take on the Klansman and stuff? Couldn't he just run away and avoided them entirely, avoided that thing entirely, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if you caught that thing early at the beginning, it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And
Yeah.
again, like you said, it's him atoning for his years and years of sinning and violence and
Mm-hmm.
overall probably not being a great person.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, One more thing I'd like to elaborate on. What do you think about the relationship between Stack and Mary? Because they had kind of a very strange relation. Not very strange. They had a very interesting relationship because Mary implied that her mom helped deliver Smoke and Stack when they were babies, and they also implied to have a long relationship. Whereas Stack also wanted her to stay out of his life because he was doing the crime. Said, "Hey, I got you a rich white man living. You live the best life ever." It's like I don't want that. I want you. So I thought that was just kind of I thought that was kind of interesting. Do you think maybe that's kind of part of Stack's sin is that he abandoned true love so in order to indulge in crime.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, he's not the one who gets the redemption at the end. He has to walk the earth in all eternity as a vampire,
Yeah, yeah,
along with Mary, because she becomes a vampire too.
but doesn't Mary die? Sure.
At the end, right? With when the sun comes up and all the vampires burst into flames. That's what you're talking about,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think
Yeah,
Mary dies, and all that
yeah,
remains
yeah,
is smoke. Is Stack.
yeah. Because doesn't Stack also get burned up, or no? Am I thinking of
No, no.
something
Stack
else?
lives. He remains a vampire. He because like
Okay,
he
okay.
even has like even in the '90s he comes in looking like a gang. He looks I don't remember his outfit very much. It's like he looks like something out of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. If I'm being honest, but he has like a thing that says Stack on it, and he has like a girlfriend which he probably turned into a vampire now. That or just make another crony.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know what's
so I'm just thinking about this right now. So kind of as punishment for him, not only does he get to walk the earth as a vampire, he also gets to do it without his true love. So
Yeah, he's yeah. That's one way of looking at it. Yeah, but 'cause I feel like also he didn't want to be with Mary because like it was 1930s America, you
Oh
can't be
yeah.
interracial. But at
Oh
the
yeah.
same time, it feels like Mary was willing to put up with it,
Hmm.
and they even accepted her as family. Even cornbread let her in. It's like little Mary, that's you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because even the vampire said, "Why is she?" Is like that's, and then of course, uh, Smokes, no, yeah, Smoke's wife said, she's family.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I mean, she is, you know.
Yeah, like I said, the her mom delivered Smoke and Stack, helped deliver Smoke and
Hmm.
Stack.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, got anything else
trying.
to add on to this, or
I'm trying to think of what else I want to say to this movie for this movie. Um, there was something else I did want to talk about, but I'm just totally blanking on it.
it's all
Um,
good. It's been a very blanked out week for me. I don't know if it's because of like the freaking weather getting to me. Oh, where I'm living right now, it's been a bunch of snow.
yeah, 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 yeah. We talked about Michael B. Jordan. We talked about the story.
One.
I do have to say, I do have to show the costume designer Ruth E. Carter some love because the costume
Oh
design in this
yeah,
movie is fantastic, and the general production design in this movie, like it really feels like a juke joint in the 1930s. You know,
heck to the
not even
yes.
just that scene, but even all like at the beginning of the movie when you see all those like old 1930s cars that they're driving and all that stuff. It's like it looks like 1932 Mississippi.
Hmm. Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's a nice detail. It's set design and costume. Excuse me. We're really really freaking good.
Yep.
Okay. Oh,
Um.
one more thing, real quick. Apparently, one of my earliest Michael B. Jordan films I ever saw was Chronicles. That was really good. So that just proves how amazing he is as an actor.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's great. Um.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I don't really have anything else to add on to Sinners. Like it's a movie that is a very good sort of action horror drama movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. This is one of those like movies that is like it's not even like a quote unquote horror movie until like the last like 45 minutes or so, you know,
Yeah.
when the vampires show up. Like the first half of it, I was probably even like two-thirds of it is basically a blues drama in a
Oh yeah.
way.
100%.
And then and then it transitions into being a horror movie, you know. And to be fair, a lot of like the best horror stories in horror movies are kind of like that. Like this is a completely different medium, but
That's fine.
one of the
Yeah.
most famous one of the most famous horror stories ever written is the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and that isn't even really a horror story until the last like couple pages, you know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think Pet. I don't know if Pet Cemetery is the same way because like it's only the beginning they bring back church and church kind of acts throughout the way. But it's only until like the end is when things go full circle after trying to resurrect Gage.
Yeah, yeah. I can if we ever cover Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow, that's something I can probably go into a little more detail on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as far as Sinners goes, I don't really have much else to add to this movie, and anything else I could say has already been said by people who are way smarter than me. So,
It's okay. It's okay. You can still try to act smart.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
So,
that's all
so
I
yeah.
got. But since it's Oscar season, do you think it'll win Best Picture?
Honestly, I don't know if it'll win Best Picture, but it's at least going to win something.
Oh,
Like
it's
it's gonna
definitely gonna win
with
some things. Like,
with as many nominations as it has, like it's gonna walk out with a couple of awards.
oh, it's
I
gonna.
do as a big horror fan, I am rooting for it to win Best Picture. And look, this is something we could also probably talk about too. think about it. This is like one of the most nominated movies, I think, in Academy Award history.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And it's a horror movie. Like this is something we can do an entire episode about the Academy's sort of bias against horror movies and how the
Mm-hmm.
Academy doesn't tend to recognize horror movies. But it's like for a movie like this to be the one of the most nominated movies in history of the Academy Awards, it's incredible, honestly.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, and to be fair, it did help because came from a big name director, has a big name star, so that definitely helped it
Mm-hmm.
give it an edge. But it's still remarkable that it got that many nominations as a fucking blood filled vampire movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I
It's
mean, I
bloody
think
amazing.
because I think there's, including the substance last year, there's only been like, I think seven, now I guess now
I
eight
forgot the
horror
Substance came
movies
out. Have you
to
seen it? Is
to
it Substance any
I
good?
I have the Blu-ray. I haven't seen it.
Mm.
But there's only been like, I guess now eight horror movies that have been nominated for a Best Picture. The other ones are, I think, The Exorcist, Jaws, Black Swan, Silence of the Lambs.
Get Out.
I'm forget Get Out, yeah. And then The Substance, and then now Sinners.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Honestly,
So again,
I thought there'd be a category for best horror movie, but I guess not.
no, and to be honest, I don't think there should be because when you be like when you start sectioning movies off to under other categories, that kind of comes off as a bit like dismissive in a way because it's like, well, you can't be as part of like the best picture. You need to be have this other category just for this specific type movie.
Hmm.
Which, to be fair, I know you can probably make a similar point about animation, but still, I think my point still kind of stands a little bit.
That's fair.
Um, cause like you can't be here. It's kind of a similar thing. Cause I think a couple years ago they tried to do like an achievement in like blockbuster filmmaking type of award, and that
Hmm.
just comes off as very like dismissive of those kind of movies. Because it's like, well, you're not good enough to be in like the major awards, so we're gonna give you this extra category on the side just for you. You know.
Hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
Again, the Academy's bias against horror movies is something we could probably do another episode about.
Oh,
So,
100%. Yes.
yeah.
But anyways, Sinners. This is a great movie. It's a little slow in some areas.
Hmm.
Has a lot of has some flaws, but not too much to make it bad. In fact, I say this is a great movie and whatever awards and good luck to it at the Oscars. I think it may win Best Picture. Mostly because the only other movie I saw in it was F1, but I have a feeling this may just sweep a lot of the awards. That's just my prediction. But
I, I,
Sinners,
I, as honestly as a big horror fan, I hope it does. I hope it
nice.
cleans house at the Academy Awards. And
Hell yeah.
honestly, even on its own, if you look at it just on its own merit, forget it's a horror movie, forget everything else, everything surrounding it, and you just look at the movie on itself, it's deserving of those awards. It's deserving of those
100%,
nominations.
baby. 100%.
Mhm.
But yeah, that is what I have to say about Sinners. It is great.
Yeah,
Um,
so I guess for my final thoughts, I'll say, yeah, Sinners is a fantastic movie. Got great performances, superb editing, incredible cinematography. The score is incredible.
mhm,
Um, I will agree with you, the pacing is a little off in a few places, but I don't think it's nothing to where it drags it down.
mhm,
Lots of impressive one takes, and the choreography in this movie is incredible. You know, also that sort of goes hand in hand with the cinematography, with the way like a lot of these scenes are blocked and staged, and is just second to none in my opinion. Um,
100%.
Production design, costume design, all that shit is fantastic. The story is very layered and very, very emotional and impactful. I don't know if I have any other words to describe that.
It's all good, man. So
Yeah, but
good.
yeah, that's all I have to say. If you have not seen it, what the hell are you doing listening to us? Go watch it.
I don't know. Maybe we're just that freaking good.
Yeah.
Anyways, y'all have thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Why Horror Matters. Be sure to subscribe to the Movie Mortis channel for more movie madness. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next video. And keep on rocking.